Oh, hi everyone, it's Susie again from Esoteric Trading Solutions. I hope you're all well. I hope you're looking after yourself. I hope you're treating yourself well, treating your family well, treating your animals well, your friends well, just treating everyone well in the world to make this place a better place. Some yucky people out there, and let's hope you stay right away from them, particularly when they're so critical and so horrible. I'm a bit tired today because I've actually, I was up all night until 8:30 this morning and only had a couple of hours sleep, 4 hours, and then I had a meeting and then I had to go and work. So, but one of my clients just sent me this about Ripple, and I thought it's a great, it's a really good article. I really like it. It's by, I don't know who this is, Reconsider WordPress. 6th of June, Ripple's Progress in 2018 by a fellow called Clayt, and I thought this was really good. Saxon, one of my clients. So I've got my dressing gown on with clothes underneath because I'm really cold. It's freezing in Melbourne tonight. It's about 12 degrees. It's 11:40 p.m. here. Anyway, they're just going through all the Ripple things for this year, and I thought it was a really good summary. And also my client said that I'm actually in this, which is quite funny. So just want to be humble about that. But I just excuse me, I just particularly like, and I've got a bit of a cold too, sore throat. I just particularly like the fact that it's summarised everything so nicely. It's talking January the 11th, MoneyGram to pilot Ripple in payment flows. And again, MoneyGram's huge. They have about 220 operations worldwide and globally. And the fact that they're doing, they're going to be using Ripple, and I knew they would, it's absolutely huge. So those guys are going to do that. They're the second largest, as this says, second largest transmitter in the world. Walmart's money transfer, and that is going to be fantastic. So as you know, Xcurrent doesn't use Ripple, but certainly Xrapid does. And I've said this before, Xcurrent is basically the first system they use to get used to the technology. And then the next process, obviously, is Ripple will sell Xcurrent. And if any organisation uses Xcurrent first, without Ripple, they save 30 to 40% on their bottom line. And if they use Xcurrent with XRP, it becomes Xrapid, and they save another 30%. So potentially they can save anything from 60 to 70% on their bottom line, reducing costs on the foreign exchange side, but also getting rid of people because they automate everything, and you don't have to worry about long delays on the settlement side because it's instant settlement within 2 to 3 seconds. Also, Ripple's got a system. One of them, I'm not sure which one it is, but sorry, I'm very tired tonight. They've got a system, and I got a cold. They've got a system that their average system can do 2,000 transactions per second, but there is another system that can do 50,000 transactions per second, so it's pretty good. Also, they put on IDT and Mercury FX, and again, these guys are doing, they're piloting cryptocurrency as well, which doesn't surprise me. Ripple's cryptocurrency, because they're on the foreign exchange side, and they can save a lot of money on the foreign exchange side too by using Ripple's XRP and basically using that for liquidity. Lian is a huge Chinese conglomerate in China and basically allows Ripple to operate in China. So that is a massive competitive advantage. I don't think people realise the clients Ripple are putting on are just huge. And, this really opens up the whole floodgates for China, for Ripple to go into China. Now, I also want to add here, people bought Neo because they believe they're exposed to the Chinese market. But you've got to understand, too, that Ripple basically has a platform like Neo, and they have smart contracts like Ethereum, and they have a platform. Now, Ethereum's got bugs galore. They just came up with another parity bug today. There's been big problems. They can only transact about 13 transactions per second, something like that. Now, Neo, on the other hand, has got node problems. They've only got 6 to 9 nodes. Their system was down time and time again in October, November, December of last year. Basically, they could be subjected to malicious attacks of 51% or so, because when you only have 6 to 9 nodes, it means that a malicious attacker, a hacker, can actually get access to the system, actually get, can control the powering of the system, if you want to call it that, and take control and actually send coins themselves, or release coins and send them to themselves. So basically get the system control, okay, which is 51% majority of the system. So it wouldn't surprise me if Neo went through a 51% hack, not at all. So just coming back to this, you know, the fact that Ripple are in China is a pretty massive thing, and they can use their platform. They've got an ICO platform, just like Ethereum, just like Neo and Waves and the like, and also they do have smart contracts. And this is a huge client in China. You know, I have to tell you that it's a really, really big client. Now, Western Union, again, is in direct competition with MoneyGram, and these guys are confirming that they're going to use Ripple as well. XRP, I should say. Sorry, I've got to distinguish. Now, I said that before, and I say it again. They have to, because if they don't compete with these guys, MoneyGram, Western Union will lose all their clients. It is a given, an absolute given. Now, just in terms of Saudi Arabia Central Bank, they are one of the largest central banks in the world in terms of funds, in terms of money. Now, Ripple was talking about a $24 trillion problem, but when we look at the total world banking system, and we include bond markets, equity markets, the cash, you know, coins, you know, all sorts of things, we are looking at about $181 trillion market. The bond market, the fixed interest market, the cash market, that's connected to the money market, I should say, is about 85 trillion that has settlement issues that cannot settle directly or instantly. The equity market is a $66 trillion market. The central banks have about $13 to $14 trillion, and Saudi Arabia is one of the biggest and most liquid central banks in the world. And again, Ripple is doing work with the Saudi banks. Now you say, oh yes, but they may not use XRP. I can assure you, going forward, they will use XRP. As I said before, and I'll say it again, there is a process. The strategy for Ripple is to get clients used to Xcurrent. If they use Xcurrent without XRP, they save 30 to 40%. Then the forward strategy is to get clients to use XRapid with XRP. It's a very sensible strategic move, and everything Ripple does is a very central strategic move. I have to say that. Seriously, they are just such professionals. Really. Real professionals. Now, on February the 21st, Brazil's largest private bank. And when we talk about private banks are banks that have high net worth clients. Now, what that means is a high net worth client has investable funds over and above their prime property from anything to $5 to $10 million or more. So Brazil is a huge market of about 190 million people, I think, something like that. And they have some very wealthy people in Brazil, like multi. I think one of the biggest billionaires is a telecom guy out of Brazil, and they have billions. But the largest private bank means that they have got high net worth clients which would own hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And this is what I said to you. Ripple will be the #1 coin, because it's not just a banking coin. It will be a corporate coin, a company coin, you know, an exporter's coin, an importer's coin. Anyone that needs to settle instantly, I need to settle instantly, and I'm not a high net worth client. I need to get my money straight away when someone sends me something, rather than waiting for PayPal to settle, you know, my receipts or my payments within 5 days. For me, that is incredibly frustrating. You know, that PayPal cannot send your money to you until 3 to 5 days, and it says it. Ripple XRP sends it instantly. You know, this is for all flows, right? All flows. You know, whether it's currency, whether it's just normal domestic currency. Again, it doesn't surprise me Ripple's in Brazil, because it's a huge market, 190 million people. India, we're talking, what are we talking? 1.2 billion people, one of the largest remittance markets in the world. What I mean by that is people in India, they go and live everywhere else. They earn income from everywhere else, wages and salaries or whatever you want to call it, and they remit, send all their money back home to their family to help their family. So it doesn't surprise me that Ripple's in Brazil and India because they are huge markets. Again, Singapore, you guys probably aren't familiar with Singapore. Singapore is very close to Australia, about an 8-9 flight. But Singapore is a financial hub, and there are a lot of companies in Singapore that operate corporate treasuries. In other words, they operate money and they operate foreign currency accounts, and they sell and buy foreign currency because there's oil operators in Singapore, like British Petroleum, Shell, and those sort of things, and they have huge amounts of money that they have to convert to their base currency, whether it be US dollars or whether it be euro. Shell's actually a Dutch company, so again, they need to convert this money back to their base currency on their balance sheet. So any sort of delay in settlements is just an absolute pain in the ass. So these guys, yes, going to use Xcurrent, but eventually they will use XRP. I don't have any problem with that, any problem at all. Again, another company's BTech in Brazil doesn't, as I said, Brazil is a very large company. I think population's about 190 mil or 200, but it's a huge country. And they're in Canada, and they're plugging in with corporates all over the place. Now, Cambridge Global Payments they put on as well, and it's a subsidiary of FleetCorp, which is a very, very big company as well. And again, they are piloting XRP. Now, Japan, I want to also tell you about Japan. Japan is the second largest foreign exchange market in the world. It's the second largest bond market in the world, fixed income, and the Japanese are huge savers. So, the Japanese have a need for instant settlement on the foreign currency, on the bond market, and also because they're huge savers, okay? And, again, Ripple's announced basically, a consortium of 61 banks, which is 81% of all the banking assets in Japan. I mean, that's massive, massive market. And yet their cryptocurrency still sits at 67 cents. And yet this market is so stupid. We've got something like EOS, which is trading at $14 per one cryptocurrency. EOS has been an ICO for the last 12 months, has pulled $14 billion out of the market, with all the stupid idiots that invest in it, and they still can't get their blockchain up and running on their own platform after they came off Ethereum's platform because there's something wrong with the system and the development side of it. And there's even talk of a fork, a hard fork. Now, get real. I mean, honestly, how do you justify a cryptocurrency that doesn't even have its own blockchain because there's a problem with it, that was on Ethereum's technology on a platform, right, where it wasn't earning any revenue, full stop, was just sitting on Ethereum's platform. Sorry, I'm really tired tonight, a bit cranky. Sitting on Ethereum's platform, and then tells the market, right, on the 1st of June we're going to go onto our own blockchain, and then there's big issues on the 1st of June, right? And it's still not on its own blockchain on the 8th, and yet the Asian market is buying EOS in expectation they're going to be competitors to Ethereum. Well, I got news for you. Ripple came out the other day and said, oh, by the way, guys, we have our own platform as well. They have a platform, probably a better one than Ethereum and Neo and, EOS. They can instantly settle and they have smart contracts. So Ripple, hasn't even started plugging that, and they're going to start doing that as well. But no, the cryptocurrency still sits at 67 cents, and a cryptocurrency like EOS, which is at $14, cannot even get on its own blockchain right? Cannot even get on its own blockchain. Let me repeat that again, like a politician, right? It's got problems. You know, the founder of the coin, I forget his name, pulled 4 billion out of the market, and now there's different groups in EOS. You know, one group is responsible for getting it working and the other one isn't. And seriously, I mean, it's just absolute bumpkin. Seriously, I'm tired and I'm really cranky tonight, and it really gives me the shits. This market is really stupid. Fair income. Anyway, let's continue with this. Right, March. Ripple hires Corey Johnson, very well-known guy. This guy's been on Bloomberg for years and years and years. See, this guy really, really knows his stuff. Honestly, I used to watch this guy, you know, and this guy's going to go around and talk to everyone and do the networking and everything else and get more clients in, you know. Again, you know, here we are again, Ripple. They're in the Middle East. They're huge. Ripple, you know, the Middle East has got oil money, right? There's parts of the Middle East, like Dubai, that are so wealthy. They have so much money, and in the Middle East, they will use XRP because they're very smart and they know how to make money. And like I said to you, the Saudi central bank, you know, which is like the government bank, is an extremely wealthy bank. It's not like, you know, America with a Fed, sorry, not the Fed, but where the government is basically broke. You know, they have a lot of money. So, you know, Ripple are working closely with 40 to 50 central banks in Asia as well as the Middle East, right? Now, you know, Ripple not only does that for publicity, they donate $29 million, which is free marketing, which is fantastic, you know, for a school project. They get on the Uphold exchange, which is direct where you can actually buy, you know, Ripple, and I've done that on Uphold, which is fantastic. Then they say, right, we can invest in startup blockchains, providing you use Ripple on our platform. And that's what Ripple intends to do. Okay, so people will, startup blockchains will go to their own platform. Now, the guy that went to the startup used to work with Ripple, and he wants to do that. I think it's called Cody or something like that. I can't remember now. Now, Santander, to put it in perspective, Santander is one of the biggest Spanish banks in the world. They are massive. Okay, yes, they're using Xcurrent, but again, it won't surprise me if they go down the route of using XRP. Seriously. These guys, they put them on and they're using XVI payments. Again, I think, I'm not sure about the XVI system. I'm not really familiar with that. I've got to check again. I still haven't done that because I've been tired, whether they use XRP, but I've got a feeling they do. And, you know, Bank of Doha, you know, huge bank. Korea's coin transfer payments business started with Xcurrent, and it's only a matter of time before they go to XRP. May the 10th, first results of XRP, US to Mexico. Again, Mexico is one of the largest remittance markets in the world. You know, the figures I've seen for Mexico, a lot of Mexicans work in the US. You know, it's something like 35 billion, you know, something like that. It's massive. So these guys are saving anything from 40 to 70%, and they do. Mercury FX, the same story. XRP. The Spring Initiative, which they're going to, you know, basically give money to entrepreneurs that will use their platform and basically use Ripple, right? I mean, this is so good, and there's so much going on, and yet the crypto still sits at 67 cents, and everyone buys EOS, and it's not even on its own blockchain. Look, I can list so many cryptos. You know, not only that, we've had hack after hack after hack. You know, the latest one today is Litecoin Cash got hacked. Now they might have to do a hard fork. You know, EOS has got problems with its technology. List got hacked. Zencash got hacked. You know, what else? Verge got hacked 3 times. Someone else got hacked. It just goes on and on and on. right? Ripple's technology is so good they won't get it hacked. That's the reality. They've got more than 1,000 or 2,000 nodes. I mean, it's an impossibility. You know, I don't believe it'll get hacked because it's so good. Excuse me. Now, you know, we're talking about Mitsubishi Corporation, huge. Standard Chartered, huge. You know, honestly, huge, huge. What else can I say? That's right. This guy's you know, he wanted to go to Coil, which is another application system that's going to be using XRP. Again, people are starting to believe that Ripple's not a scam because it was on the Ellen show. Oh, God, and forget, you know, holy smoke, some big actor who I don't even know who he is, big deal. You know, but Ellen gets a $4 million donation and they convert it, you know, to African currency instantly. And so then a lot of dickheads in the crypto market go, oh, gee, you know, maybe Ripple's not a scam after all, the technology, because I saw it on the Ellen show. You know, and I did see the technology do it straight away. Well, the technology works. Go and check out, you know, their Ripple, you know, live ledger. You know, I've got news for you guys, you dickhead punks. Anyway, so, you know, again, this Santander, OnePay, millions, you know, Kuwait Finance House is big, like huge, so much money, and a huge client for Ripple. Now, don't forget, these clients don't get the technology for nothing, right? The technology is a long tiered process. It's a long contract, a long duration contract, where these companies will have these contracts for 25, 30 years, and they pay a fortune to Ripple. And Ripple process their transactions, right? So, and there's an ongoing maintenance with the technology of Ripple. You know, it costs companies a fortune for this sort of technology. And this is why Ripple has more than 15 to 20 billion in the bank. Yes, billions, with no debt. You know, the reality is if they list on the stock exchange as an IPO, initial public offering, sorry, I'm really tired tonight. I'm cranky. They are going to list at 700 US. They will be another Google, and the stock will surpass 1,000 US. And I can assure you the cryptocurrency is not going to be sitting at 67 cents. Right. So, you know, this, you know, incredible. Millions of customers. Kuwait, you know, heaps of money. Again, Japan is huge. No, announced something like, what else do I need to say here? It just goes on and on. Now they're putting money into university blockchain research with about, you know, 50 universities, I think I read. Okay, so, I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, Ripple stand out ahead of every cryptocurrency in this market. Everyone. Show me other cryptocurrencies, you know, that have got the client base, that aren't getting hacked, that don't have problems with their technology, because I'll tell you what, I read a lot of stuff and I look at a lot of stuff, and there are so many cryptocurrencies that have got problems with their technology and they're being constantly hacked, which means the developers haven't done their job properly and they don't have proper security, you know, on the technology for a start. Honestly, who was it? It was Litecoin, Cash. There's another one, I can't remember who it was. Lisk, Zencash, Bitcoin Gold, also Verge 3 or 4 times. You know, honestly, it just goes on and on. Zencash a month before that was saying, oh, you know, we've got great systems, we've got great security, and yet they get, you know, 51% malicious hack, you know. Anyway, so, you know, yes, he's covering it up amazing, and this guy is even skeptical of Ripple, but how much stuff do you need? Seriously, how much stuff do these people need that write this stuff? Honestly, how much proof do you need in the pudding? Seriously. Do they have to, you know, do a dance in Times Square with their clothes off or something? Honestly, I don't know, but, you know, so, you know, it's incredible. Unbelievable. Okay, what else we got? And you know what? We have started seeing Ripple decouple from Bitcoin. It was exactly what Gullinghouse said, and I've noticed it in the last week of trading that Ripple is, you know, standing its own ground. and Bitcoin is coming down. And I think you're going to see that more and more and more. Okay, Ethereum, again, today, your time. They've got problems with their parity protocol. There's problems, man. If there's one problem, there's another problem, right? There's even a talk of a fork. Oh, yeah, the other one that was hacked was Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic was a fork of Ethereum because Ethereum got hacked, and now Ethereum Classic's got hacked and lost money, and now they're talking about doing a fork on Ethereum Classic. Come on, gee whiz, eh? Seriously, honestly, I don't know what else to say here. Fair income, I just don't. This market is so stupid. Or maybe I'm just a dickhead, who knows? Bloody hell. Sometimes I just want to give up. Okay, so what else we got here? Right. Decoupling, and it is decoupling. Oh my, there I am. Oh, it must be true. I must be, Oh, and he's even got my last name. Jesus, who's this? Who's writing this? Clay. Wow. What has he said about me? Description based again, oh, really? Okay. Thank you. Oh, yeah, the video. Yep, yeah. Oh, here we go. Which is difficult to completely agree with me, but it's an exciting take on another. What would this guy know about anything? Seriously, would he know anything? What would he know about financial markets? What would he know about valuations? You can take that with a grain of salt, as I've never worked in the financial sector. Hooray! The guy had no jack shit. What's his name again? Wouldn't know anything about market valuation. Clate. I don't know his last name or his first name. What I found interesting, oh yes, the institutional money. Yep, I did one on that as well, so please look at that. And, I really believe that's going to happen very quick, very soon. All I'm saying is, I'm saying to my clients, look at Coinbase, because Coinbase are trying to get a banking license, number one. They've just acquired some broker houses, number two, that have their proper licensing for broking. Also, they're equity brokers, and they've got access to the BAT system, which is the equity system. But also, as I said, they're trying to get a custodian license with their own custody, and they'll go for a credit rating because institutional clients need a custodian with a credit rating and who has a license by the Security Exchange Commission. Sorry, I'm tired tonight. And who also has a license for their operation in terms of buying and selling equities. Now, the interesting thing about Coinbase, they're very smart. They want to go into Japan, right? Expand Japan because the Japanese market for cryptocurrency is huge. Probably the biggest market, actually, I'd have to say, and South Korea, and it's close to South Korea. But Coinbase want to be the biggest institutional dealer of cryptocurrency, and I think they will be. They're going the right way. They're employing lots of people to do that. They're smooching with the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, and they're getting all the right things. I think they'll go for an S&P rating, no problem. And I think they, once they've got the custodian license and, a way for instos to do custody, I think they'll be guns ahead. Plus, they've got an over-the-counter operation where instos can buy and sell large volumes of cryptocurrency without necessarily affecting the price. Now, one of my clients said to me, oh, what's the point of having an over-the-counter if it doesn't affect the price? It may not affect the price on the day that the over-the-counter has been done, but it depends who takes on the over-the-counter position and where's it going. And I'll give an example of this. If one large institution is selling a big line of whatever it is, let's just say Ripple for argument's sake, and they're selling, say 10 billion of Ripple, and the other institution loves Ripple and wants to hold $10 billion in their funds and keep that digital currency in Coinbase's custodian, and Coinbase has a AAA custody rating, which is what institutions look for. The custody has to be AAA, so a highly rated custodian, because they're holding your digital asset on your behalf. Okay, the custodian is looking after your digital asset on your behalf, so they have to be regulated and they need a credit rating. If that client has a view on Ripple and they want to hold that, not I won't say security, I won't get into that argument, and they want to hold that cryptocurrency, XRP, so I meant to say XRP, they will hold that in their portfolios for years on end. And if they have a belief that is a core holding in their portfolio, like Google, like Apple, like, some of the best companies in on the NASDAQ, like Microsoft, that 10 billion will sit in that fund manager, portfolio manager's big portfolio of trillions for a generation, for 20, for 30 years. So what that means is you never see that 10 billion come back to the market. You go, oh, well, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that 10 billion is taken out of the circulating volume, the circulating market volume, the circulating market cap. So because it sits in a fund manager's portfolio forever and a day, you basically never see it come back to the market again. And it means no one can get access to those billions and billions of dollars of Ripple, of XRP. Okay? So effectively, you have a limit of supply. And that's pretty much what it means. If you have a limit of supply, what happens? A limit of supply means there's pressure on the price to go up. And it's just that simple. Okay, let's go through this. Then we've got this, Mercury and Culix, and they're using XRP as well. And they're basically in Mexico, between between America somewhere and Mexico. And, look, it's all good. Look, Ripple are just doing so much things. Also, as I said, they've got a smart platform. They've got a platform where you can do your own ICO and you can basically do smart contracts, right? So why should Ripple be at 67 cents when Ethereum is at what? I don't know, 600. I haven't even looked at it. 600 or whatever it is. And the technology doesn't work. And yet Ripple can come out and compete with Ethereum, compete with Neo, when Neo's technology stopped in October and November. Have a look. And they questioned the founder of Neo Technology and didn't even know who he was talking about, right? And Neo's what, at $53, and Ethereum's at $593 a coin. And where's the common sense in this market? I tell you, I have no idea, seriously. What else can I say? I'm just absolutely flabbergasted. And to all you fudders, please don't respond on my YouTube page, because I'm just going to ban you and I'm going to report you to YouTube. All right, guys, please look after yourself. I'm very cranky tonight. Hope you're all well. Please have a good life. And I need to get some sleep. Thank you, darlings. Bye for now.